All right, you guys, so I am literally trying to keep it together. I'm trying to sit on this couch and go, things are gonna not be the way that they were. We're not gonna go backwards. We're not walking backwards. We're not rewinding. We're not homeless. We're not foodless. We are not sleeping in the back of a car. We are not in a situation where we're truly down to the bottom of the barrel. However, we are at the point where we really, unfortunately, don't know what's going on. My car is getting its final inspection today. It has been towed. They are about, I want to say, 2.5, 3 hours away from me for this final inspection. What's gonna happen at this point? I don't know. According to my knowledge, I was told that this car would be totaled out. However, it does have to go through the final inspections. There are some details in that I definitely will share with you, but right now my anxiety is literally up here. It is up so high. I literally am losing sleep. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm walking around on pins and needles. Like, I am trying my best to make it through the holidays. I will say this holiday is going to be rough. It's going to be rough for me. It's going to be rough for my husband. We're trying our best to not show that anything is absolutely dreadful for our kids. I have a kid that is turning 10 in a few days. We put up the Christmas tree. Everything seems to be kind of going in place as far as traditions go. We have definitely gotten to the point where all I really need to do is plan for Christmas dinner. I need to wrap some very minimal Christmas gifts. I didn't really get to the point where I was doing a lot of shopping. However, I did get a few people out of the way that I always tend to buy for. And one of them is a senior. So I'm going to be posting what I got her. She didn't get a whole lot of stuff and it wasn't really all that expensive. I tend to go to places like Ross for adults because I can get items for under $5 and I can get some candy at the Dollar Tree or Winco Foods, and I can stuff a stocking with small things. So that's kind of what I did for her. Now, as far as my car goes, it has to go through this final inspection, and honestly, I don't even know what to think. I was told by the guy who did the audit that it was likely it's going to get totaled out. I talked to him again today. I said, am I going to pay my car payment this month? Like, what is it going to look like for us? He was like, here's the honest truth. He's like, it has to pass the final inspection. Do I think it's going to pass? Probably not. He's like, does it mean that it isn't going to be sent for repairs and then later the repairs could be more than the car is valued at? Then they would total it out then as well. So we're just kind of waiting. I wasn't ready for this. I really wasn't. I don't even know how you can prepare yourself for anything like this. I'm going to be honest with you. One thing that I dislike hearing is that everything will work itself out. That is a blanket statement. It is a blanket statement that means absolutely nothing. It's like apologizing and then continuing to do the same thing over and over again. And I'm not trying to be a jerk in this and saying this, but you have to figure out the pathway to work it out. Meaning that I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to make it to work. I start my job in a couple days. I have to figure out how I'm going to make it to work. I have to figure out how I'm going to get home from work. Am I going to be working nights? Am I going to be walking on a highway at 11 o'clock at night? how would I get to the other locations if I'm sent to the other locations? There isn't Uber here. There is not Lyft here. There is no cabs here. The only way I got a cab to drive me here is because I had money. I had money. I had money. Now I don't have any money, so I can't just cab it places. Someone was like, oh, well, you know, you'll have money coming in soon and then you won't have to worry about it. No. No. I drive for a living, meaning that I have to get out of my house, get in my car, go do DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, Spark to make money. I'm very frustrated because my everyday has been totally turned upside down. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I get up, I make coffee, I pace in the kitchen. I'm pacing because I'm usually making coffee, grabbing something to eat, and out the door. And then I come back, and my husband and I usually go to the city, and then we go bust a move. There are times where I have in the last few days full on cried, screamed, sat here and thought that life was completely dreadful. And I'm going to be honest with you and as transparent as I can be, I am at an all-time low. Not like the band. Not like the band, but like emotionally. I can tell you this, like, I have some serious anxiety and PTSD. And I don't talk about those things very often. I do talk about anxiety, but I don't talk about PTSD because there are a lot of different types of PTSD. I have the PTSD kind that came from homelessness. Now I'm constantly worrying about how am I going to pay my next month's rent? How am I going to pay my phone bill? Is my internet going to be turned on? What about my heat? What about my electricity bill? Am I going to be able to buy dog food? Am I going to be able to celebrate Christmas with my kids? Because last year, this house was our Christmas gift. This was all the money we had. I had $5,000 cash, and we bought this mobile home, this 1966 mobile home in this park, and we gave this as a gift to ourselves. Like, to the point where my kids know what homelessness is like. So for them, they're like, great, we have a house. We don't have to worry about it anymore. But I have to make the bills. Somebody told me, oh, well, it's okay. You're gonna get a check. You're gonna get a check soon. It's not gonna come soon enough. I personally am trying my best to put on my best game face for my kids. I am trying to put my best game face on for my husband. As a matter of fact, he did not tell me that for the last few days he's been really, really sore. Today, he's laying down. He's laying down because he's sore. He was the driver. He was hit on his side. My back has been jacked up. My neck has been jacked up. And he's like, you know what? I feel like I just fell off of, a 3 or 4 story building and hit hard. He feels absolutely terrible for this situation. And honestly, like, last night, he was really super depressed. Really depressed. Like, I have never seen him that low. Usually he's pretty happy-go-lucky, which helps me be happy-go-lucky. But last night he was like, we put up the tree and now I'm thinking about Christmas and I'm thinking about the fact that we have a 10-year-old's birthday coming up and we have bills and we found out that our internet just went from 65 to 85 and now we have to pay like $130 to keep our internet on. And he's like, it's just every little tiny thing that's getting to me. Every little tiny thing. To the point where he even called one of the most laborsome jobs in our little town and they're on a hiring freeze. He was like, how? When can I reapply? Like, tell me the details. Like, I will be here tomorrow. He's not a morning person and he's willing to get up at 5 in the morning to go to work. And honestly, I myself, I don't know how I'm going to get to and from work. There's no cabs here. There's no taxi. There's no Uber. There's no Lyft. Somebody's like, but you do Uber and Lyft. How is that possible? Because I drive to the city, honey. I drive there. You have to drive to make money in this little area. You got to drive. So, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I start my job here very shortly, and Amanda does not know what she's going to do. Does this mean that I walk at 11 o'clock at night? Does this mean I walk at 10 o'clock at night? Does this mean that I have to walk in ice and snow? Does this mean that I get off at 2 in the morning and because somebody didn't show up to work? Does that mean I walk at 2 in the morning? I mean, like, my town has so many homeless people. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Not in the way of homeless people being disgusting, but the fact that this community does nothing about it. Sure, there's homeless people everywhere, but why is there that many homeless people here? Like, literally, you walk down the street and you see some dude sleeping in a bush. Like, I live in an area where there's no homeless shelter. Like, I thought that there's a building that says homeless shelter, but apparently it's not open yet. I'm like, where do these people sleep? When I was homeless, I met tons of other homeless people. They're like, yeah, we go to the shelter in the wintertime. Where do these people go? I'm not saying that my life is absolutely terrible. It could be lower than it's at now. I could be moving out of here homeless. I could be starting over. I could be doing all these things that I fear in my head. I fear on a regular everyday basis. Most people don't really know what it's like to have to go without. Somebody the other day mentioned how you could tell that I bite my nails. Well, I don't go get my nails done. I don't go get my nails done. I don't have money to do it anymore. I don't. I do have a friend that does nails, and she's offered to do my nails for free, but I'm not going to do that for free. It's her business. She does it for a living. I'm never going to take from somebody who's working hard to make a buck. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I do know this for a fact. If you've made it this far in this video, then you will know. You will know. So what will happen is there's going to be a final inspection, and either one of two things will happen. And this is what the adjuster told me to the T. He's like, Amanda, you have to understand, I see tons and tons of cars every single day. I see tons of them. I go with a very, very well-known insurance company. So number one could be that the repairs are so high that, well, let's get to that one in a second. Let's go with number one, the most obvious. Obvious number one is the car would be automatically totaled. Number two would be they haven't decided it's totaled, but we're going to bring it to a shop and see how much it costs. He said that according to what he sees and what my car is valued at, and mind you, it's only 4 years old, is that it could be more than what the car is worth. So that would make it totaled out. So two ways it would be totaled. Another would be number three. And he said that he highly doubted number three because of the fact that he sees cars every single day, and that it could be repaired. But the one thing he did worry me about is the fact that it might not drive as good as it was. So, and I do have friends that have had that situation. Situation number 3 would not necessarily mean the worst. It just would make me worried, and I would want to get it extra triple inspected, especially if I'm going to make a high car payment and all the things. Do I want my car to be totaled out? Why? Because I don't know how I would get another car. Right now, I'm still responsible for this car loan. So, being that I'm still responsible for the car loan, I don't think I could get something else right now. I'm not going to try to get something else right now because truthfully, I have been building my credit so I could do other things with my credit. I'm sure you can read between the lines. Meaning that I've made many comments about how I don't want to live in this mobile home forever, that this is a starter home because it's a 1966 and it's not going to be here forever. So I have to think of future Amanda and future Amanda's family, right? I have to think of my 4 walls. What is that going to look like in 5 years? What is that going to look like in 10 years? We're talking 10 years. That's not, everyone thinks 10 years is like so far away. No, not when you're on a low income and you're trying to save your money and you're building your credit and you're keeping your credit nice and you cleaned it all up. I spent almost 3 years cleaning up my credit. My credit is not crap. I do have credit cards. I do owe on my credit cards, but I pay my credit cards every single month. I am not ashamed to say that I have to use credit cards sometimes because I'm on a low income. That's life. Sometimes I have to beg from Peter to pay Paul. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. Is it a situation that I like to do? Absolutely not. But my credit is still pretty decent and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it that way so I can get my family a future home. I don't want to be dealing with car payments. Nope. Truthfully, I would rather save my money and go try my best to, my hair's driving me crazy. It's pulling on the back of my head. But anyway, I want to not have a buttload of payments. A buttload of payments would suck. And when you go to try to get a loan on a low income, because I've already been through this. I've been through it. I almost bought a house once. The foundation didn't pass. Long story short, I've already been through the process, so I already kind of know where I need to be. And I know that the car loan that I had, I wanted to pay down to 0 before I went and made other plans. I wanted to make sure that this car was paid off by the end of 2025 because I want to get on with my life. I want to get on with it. I'm ready. I'm ready for the next chapter, but now this chapter is called Hurry Up and Survive. Survival mode to the max. Extreme survival mode. That's what we'll call it. But as always, do what you can with what you got because it's all you have to work with. And remember, it's the holiday season. Don't go broke because of one day. And 2, if you're living it hard, remember somebody else always has it harder. Bye, guys.